Hey, that's a Soda Pop from Soda Hughes, and you are watching the MOLOCH channel. And today we've got a pretty interesting book or collection of books. We've got Hokusai Manga, and it's by Thames and Hudson Publishing. They got kind of the two dolphins. It's kind of fun. This one I found while browsing for books because I had some Target credit. So I found this on Target, and I was actually I really like Hokusai's work. I think he has a great style and contributed a lot to what kind of contour and line-based illustration would look like for years and years to come. For any of you who aren't familiar with the name Hokusai, you might be familiar with one of his works from the Views of Edo series. He was an ukiyo-e, I think is how you say it, artist. So he worked in a lot of wood block prints, and The Great Wave off Kanagawa, I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry for any of these that I'm slaughtering. Is part of his Mount Fuji series, his Views of Mount Fuji series, and it's kind of that tidal wave in front of the mountain. It's on a lot of shirts and in a lot of things, probably because his stuff is from quite a while ago, so it's in the public domain now. I guess this has over 900 illustrations contained within 3 books. So this is going to be a 3-parter, so we don't have to really rush. We can kind of take our time with it. And we're going to start with the first one. And I do appreciate the design. I like the design of these. What the fuck? Is his head orange? I don't know, there's something cheeky about it that's fun. But yeah, we'll be looking at the other 2 soon. It seems that maybe because of the nice little slipcase, a lot of retailers seem to be kind of confused about some of the details about the book. Like, even with the same ISBN, some of them say that they're hardcover, some of them say softcover. It is softcover, but with a slipcase. It's also a little bit smaller than I originally imagined, but it did come very, very cheap. Oh, it's organized like a manga too. I'm going to try not to break this book. Oh, and this one is Edo Life. Yeah, he was, I believe, from and in Edo. Unfortunately, the page quality is a lot like some of the cheaper mangas. It's kind of that extremely thin, kind of ivory-ish. It's really small, but hopefully the camera is able to focus on it. Yeah, very evocative, just very descriptive, wonderful kind of contour focus line drawings. I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way, but I'm trying to also hold it open. It's a small book. We got some cats and birds. Working on faces. I guess his manga, I guess what they called it. I guess I'd have to look up kind of what the exact definition of manga was or is. because now it's been kind of been brought about to be understood as like a kind of a short form, kind of image-based narrative media, kind of Japanese comic books. Can definitely read a sense of humor in some of these. It's also pretty easy to see how these could have influenced Impressionism and some of the Western artists that would end up finding this stuff. I mean, it's so easy to love. But I guess a lot of them were kind of Japanophiles, maybe to an almost uncomfortable extent. I'd imagine it'd have to be kind of crazy, though. Especially when there wasn't internet. I wonder, like, if you'd only find out about it through a trip, or maybe a book that someone recommended, or that you found on accident. I don't know, but I'd imagine it'd be so crazy to just, like, be exposed to this completely different system of aesthetics, especially when you were trying to be rebellious in your own art world, and here you found something that was very expert and kind of resonated with your ideals, maybe. But especially in some of the ways they're drawing kind of folds of flesh and describing the form of the human body, definitely makes me think of Sheila. I'm pretty sure Muka and Klimt also were a little bit of Japanophiles, and that stuff influenced them. I'm always unsure about the term Japanophile and other Francophile and all this stuff. I mean, right now, I don't know when this video will be posted, but right now there have been a lot of attacks on Asians, specifically I think Asian Americans, which is horrible. Just really shitty. It sucks when humans do stuff like this. It's kind of crazy to me. I'm not sure if it's just because of how I was raised, but just feeling like why are we still doing this? Why is this still a problem? But it has caused some interesting discourses in the art community. Definitely not as important, I feel like, as the ones that if you're not aware of, maybe you should check out in the social and culture community, because definitely need to be aware of problems in our nation that should be addressed. But this is an art focused mainly channel, so speaking of the art community, they've been talking, and I think I can't remember who it was on Twitter, but they were kind of asking an open-ended question about how do you guys feel about white artists who either draw a lot of Asian subjects or seem to have a more Asian style. Oh, looks like we are looking at some judo. Some jujutsu. We got a shinobi over there. Very cool stuff. Interesting. He's got some hand locks and wrist locks. I wonder, was he working on like an instructions manual for that stuff? That's interesting. But anyway, there are interesting questions. I feel like race and culture, in terms of how they interplay with aesthetics, is always a very fascinating thing, especially because sometimes it starts to feel so gray, and it's like, well, who even gets to decide that, and who has all the right answers? For example, I think it was Yuko Shimizu was kind of talking about how she feels like it's totally fine, so long as it's not just for personal gain, but there is like a genuine interest, and maybe they make the effort to understand and respect the culture behind it. Some people are saying it's not okay at all. Other people are saying like no one really owns aesthetics. And it's just interesting, and sometimes it's good to kind of self-check up and see how you feel about your own, your own interests and stuff. And a lot of it because of the kind of something about ink work not feeling compelled to render, allowing for a lack of background or very dramatic compositions is a thing that did attract me to a lot of Asian art. But I feel like I'm always wondering, like, is it a fetishization? Like, should I be more careful? I don't know. I don't know where to stand, and I don't really know if there's anyone with a right answer. I mean, you can talk about contemporaries like a lot of those Super Ani artists like Kim Jung-gi and Han Solo and them. You can definitely see that they're going to museums and that they appreciate the work of, specifically, I've seen them really liking and like showing Klimt, Mucha, and Sheila, which I feel like is pretty evident. But, those artists were influenced by Asian media. I personally think that the trade of aesthetics and innovation is wonderful. I mean, a lot of commercialization and stuff does make me feel uncomfortable, like Kim Kardashian calling the one body shaper a kimono or something. Just, I don't know, some things definitely seem in poor taste, but I don't know. Oftentimes from those instances of poor taste, it's almost not surprising from the source. But yeah, I think the evolution of aesthetics and the development of beauty, and also kind of the improvement of culture, and sometimes the breaking of boundaries happens through visual media. Like, I'm pretty sure the younger generation of city pop and kind of anime manga artists coming out of South Korea is maybe more culturally important than some people give it credit, But at the same time, I can understand where, like, kind of the anger and abrasion and skepticism come from when there's so many cultural and other issues that are definitely not resolved, and that humanity's got a lot of work to do, and I myself have got a lot of work to do. I'm definitely not perfect when it comes to this sort of stuff. But I do know the art I like, and I don't think I could really stop making it. But we'll see. Whew. Getting heavy again. Sometimes we have very light conversation. Sometimes I'm silent for like 5 minutes, and sometimes we get into slightly deeper topics. Hopefully you were able to kind of see some of that. I'm sorry the book is so small, but there is so much. It's wonderful. Unfortunately, I can tell the construction and everything is a little weak. But, it came at such a low cost, and to get so many images and pages at a low cost was nice. I think it's great that, maybe more people will be able to experience this imagery. And I know that a lot of older works have fallen into the public domain. I myself have thought of wanting to bring, certain older works to the view of the public, old, European fantasy artists, some colonial artists. Some colonial arts might be, I don't know. I'll have to research a little bit more about public domain, but I think some of them would be available. But I am a bookmaker, and I don't know, I think some things are just too wonderful to lose to the past, and can really improve, the life experience and the artistry of people who see them. And I want to bring those things to light. So I don't know, you might be seeing some books of old works put together by yours truly. Anyway, this is part 1 in what's going to be a 3-part series. Just finished Ito Life by Hokusai, and I hope to see you guys again. Maybe check out my Patreon. Take care.
Yourself.